It's a pleasure to speak with you this way over the ether, but it's extremely important that we communicate. And these are the new means to communicate, and we have to make use of them. We live in critical times, and in critical times, we have to listen to each other. We have to hear each other. We have to enter into contact, into conversation. Why critical times? Because it's an unstable world. It's a world prone to break down. Ultimately, it's an unsustainable world. Whose world is it? It's a world that we, my generation, has created. It's a world that you, your generation, has to live in. So we have to get together to find out how to rectify mistakes that have been made by my generation and the generation before this, so that you can get a livable generation, a livable world where 7 billion or more people can live. This is not an easy task, but it's not an impossible task, because this world is changeable. We know very well that the more unstable a situation is, the more subject, the more prone it is to change. It can break down, but it can also break through. Which way it will go is yet to be decided. It will be decided by your generation. Your generation has a unique role and therefore a unique responsibility in the world. You can choose to stay and become and remain the last generation in history. Because who knows, we could become extinct, and not even very long from now. You can also choose to be the first generation of a new phase in history, of a new world, because we can also create a new world. You have everything to create a world that is better. We have the resources, we have the energy, just have to use it the right way. We have the skills, the know-how. There's one thing lacking, and that's the will. I don't think it's lacking with you individually. It's lacking yet the will to get together, to join, so that we can together create this world. 7 billion people must live on this planet. 7 billion people can live on this planet. But for that, many things have to change. The way we use energy, the way we use our resources, the way we use each other, all that has to change. We have to cooperate. We have to put ourselves online, figuratively and literally, so that we can join our forces, our will, our motivation to create something together that is livable. You know, Einstein said that you can't solve a problem with the same kind of thinking that gives rise to that problem. We have a problem. This world is unsustainable. We need new thinking to solve it. New thinking, what kind of thinking? The dominant thinking that gives rise to this unsustainability is mechanistic thinking. It's self-centered, it's short-sighted thinking. It's the kind of thinking that says, I am here, you are there, you may be my friend or you may be my enemy, but you are something different. My nation is one nation, your nation is something else. We are lots of foreigners. We are just a bunch of foreigners to each other, basically. We have only our own interests at stake. At the most, the interest of our company, at the most, our interest of our community, maybe of our state or nation. But there's also human interest, because we can't make it alone. We either join together, we'll make it, or we fall apart. And that is a lesson we have to learn. Before, you could have this kind of divisions in the world because we were not so many people, we were not so powerful, we were not on the edge of sustainability. Now we have to cooperate, we have to learn that. We have to join our forces. What you're doing here in this network, in this meeting, in this initiative is precisely that. Trying to join together. Absolutely crucial. Because there's another great saying by Gandhi, as you all know, be the change that you want to see in the world. If you are the change, then you must also join with others, so others could also change. Not make people change, be the change. Then others will pick it up. We can be contagious in the positive sense. We can start an epidemic in the positive sense. Start thinking coherently, start thinking cooperatively, start thinking as though we were one family, which we are. This is the challenge before us. Which way are we going to go? I think we'll make it, but this is not yet assured. It is really up to you, up to your generation, up to people who can work in a network, who can network each other, themselves, who can express themselves, who can give an initiative, who can give a signal that the time has come to change, to transform. All this is possible. All this is before us. There is in the sciences a new paradigm coming to the fore. This is the paradigm of connection, of instant communication, interaction. We know that the physical world is like that. It's what the physicists call entangled, because all things are connected with all other things. This kind of thinking is now gradually emerging in society too. We know that our thinking, our consciousness is connected with other consciousnesses. At best, of course, we can connect through the ether, through the connection that is given in the world, this instant entangled connection. But we can also use the internet. We can use all the means that are at our disposal to connect, to communicate, to take action, to use the possibilities that are before us. We live in a world in which all things affect all other things. So let's make the best use of this interconnection. Use it so that we create what is known as a butterfly effect. The butterfly effect is when a tiny little thing like an air current made by a butterfly flapping its wings changes the pattern of weather months and months later on the other side of the earth, because it enlarges, it blows up. Even tiny little effects can change the world. The great thinker and anthropologist Margaret Mead said, never doubt the power of a small group of people to change the world. Indeed, she says, nothing else ever has. I would add to it, never doubt the power of the small group of people to change the world if they get together, if they get online. So I hope you will recognize this opportunity, this challenge. It's a unique challenge. You can play a historical role. You can be the first generation of a new world. Pick it up. It's your world. It's your future. It's your life.